Welcome to another Clubs and Corks Golf podcast. Luke Taylor here with my guy, Ben Curtis. And we've got a really special guest.
Yeah.
I think we have, number 12? Remember there was like a jersey for all the Browns quarterbacks?
Oh, like how many starting quarterbacks in the last 8 years?
Last Pro Bowler for the Browns. What I really only care about, he was a childhood friend and schoolmate of Playboy playmate Sarah Jean Underwood. I don't want to talk golf. Let's talk about her.
Of course you do, right?
I mean, I could be a playmate. Seriously.
No, you can't.
No. So this is the guy who was a stud two-sport athlete, kind of like myself. He only played 2 sports in high school. I played 5.
Well, because you're from Canada.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But he's from Oregon. That's almost as bad as Canada.
I don't know. Anyway, come on, keep going.
Derek Anderson.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Clubs and Corks.
Yeah. Good
Golf
to see you. Thanks,
podcast. Derek
Good
Anderson.
to see you guys.
The best Cleveland Browns quarterback.
The best Cleveland court. Yeah.
Since we came back, right?
Yeah, the Pro Bowler, 2007.
Yeah.
My question is, so you're drafted by the Ravens in 2005. Do you consider yourself a Raven?
No, not really, but obviously grateful for the opportunity that they brought me in the league. But I was only there for like 6 weeks, so I didn't really get 6 real games or whatever the heck it was. But I didn't really get a real good attachment there. But I don't know. Just isn't one of my teams. Really, it's kind of the Browns, the Panthers, and my kid loves the Bills now, so we watched a lot of Bills games.
Bills Mafia. I am from Oakville, Ontario, Canada, home of Steve Christie.
Ooh.
The Bills. I don't like Scott Norwood. I like Steve Christie.
Love it.
You gotta, in a little bit, you gotta tell us the story of how you got to Buffalo and why you went there. And then, I mean, I thought it was funny because we were texting back and forth. You basically retired, right, from Carolina. You said, I'm done. And then middle of the season, you get a call, right? Because what's the coach's name? He was your quarterback coach at Arizona, right?
No, Sean. Oh, yeah. Brian Dayball was my coordinator in Cleveland.
Okay.
And then Sean McDermott, who's the head coach there, obviously, he was our defensive coordinator in Carolina for 6 years when I was there, and had a great relationship with Sean. And Brandon Bean, the GM, was our assistant GM in Carolina. And this is no exaggeration, I was playing golf. I was playing in the Oregon team championships. So you have 4 guys from your club go play 4 guys from all these other clubs. Playing that on vacation with my family in Bend, Oregon. And they called me and they're like, hey, can you get here on Saturday? And I'm like, kind of on vacation right now. Taking a couple days. And I actually, unfortunately, had a funeral I had to go to on Sunday. So I think I flew out like Sunday night, got there Monday morning, started in on it. And I had been playing golf, enjoying adult beverages with my friends. And I was a little bit overweight. And then, so I told him, I was just straight up. I was like, Sean, I'm going to need like 3 weeks to like get in where I feel comfortable. Like I'd been doing a little bit of working out. It was just more so I didn't get to be 280. And
what's wrong with that?
Well, it's frowned upon when you got to play an NFL game and you're 30 pounds over your playing weight.
That's true.
More, but no, I wasn't. But no, and then I get there and like whatever it was, 9 days later, I was starting a game and it was an interesting ride. But honestly, like it was great. Like I really enjoyed Buffalo. I enjoyed, like, Josh is a good buddy of mine now, and we stay in contact and obviously root for those guys. But it was a tough deal.
Yeah, because you got a concussion, right? And that was kind of
and that was ultimately like the end of the road. Like I got a really bad concussion, like where my ears were ringing for like 6 months, like couldn't sleep. Wow. It was just a bunch of bad stuff. And I was getting ready to go back in April, and I just called them. I was like, I can't do this. I got 3 kids. I get one more of these, I might be drinking my soup through a freaking straw or steaks through a straw.
Yeah. Well, I remember you telling me a story about how you went to the grocery store and had an episode, and then you very painful, and then you kind of came out of it and didn't know where you were, how you got there, and things like that. So I know.
Yeah, that's when I kind of was like, okay, let's start golfing and watching these kids grow up and enjoy some other things.
Yeah. How did you get into golf?
So my grandparents have a like cabin on this, like the oldest 9 holes in Oregon. It's up by Mount Hood. And I just started going out there and I was like 5 years old, and they'd take me out in the course. I'd hit a few shots and started getting better. And then I was really the only chance I really got to play was with them. And then once I got into high school, I'd play with my buddies here and there. And then when I got to college, I started working at the golf course, just picking the range for a job. And so I'd like pick the range, I'd pick half the range and I'd put an 8-iron in the range cart, and I'd go back and I'd hit half the balls back onto the range. And then I would go back and pick the range. And so I just did that. And then I started getting a little bit better. I started playing with like some of the guys on the college team. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then of course I'm competitive. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get better at this. And it's been a long process ever since, but I've got better, but it's not as good as I'd like.
What do you play at now? I know we played quite a bit. You could shoot in the 70s pretty consistently. Are you gotten even better since you retired?
Yeah, like I was for a while this summer, I was like a plus 2.5. So like I shot 66, 68, and we won the Oregon best ball with a kid.
Wow.
It's getting better. It's just not consistent. Like today, I shoot 40 on the front and I'm 3 under on the back. Going into 15, I knife a wedge over the green. So it's stupid things like that.
Yeah, that's funny.
But I'm full junkie. I got a house full of clubs and too many golf memberships.
Yeah, you were a junkie when you were playing. I remember we played.
I
think the last time I played was Whisper. You just Whisper Rock, and you just got done with the seat. You were in Arizona at the time, and yeah, we played, and you could tell you were a little rusty. But then I think we played later on that right before you went back for camp, and yeah, it's totally different. I mean,
it gets better, but now that I've actually tried to, I take my kids to school and do all that stuff and try to be done so that I can get them. But if I could, I'd go there and hit balls for 6 hours a day.
You know what? We should have had him on our goals episode.
Yeah.
I mean, he's dedicated.
Yeah. He's very dedicated.
Do you pack a good lunch like Ben Curtis over here?
Pack my lunch?
No, pack your kids' lunch.
Oh, buddy. I'm probably the best lunch maker you've ever seen.
I don't know. You might have a competition.
Well, this morning I complained about packing lunches because, as we all know, children are really difficult to get to eat things. And my daughter all of a sudden decided she didn't like turkey sandwiches anymore. So she's throwing a fit. She wouldn't go to school today.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just like, are you kidding me? So that part of it's actually fun. My wife works out in the morning. I try to make sure the lunches are ready when she gets home, which is a new thing for me, considering I used to be out the door before the sun even came up. So yeah, it's been, I'm proud of it. I try hard. I can't tell you how good it is.
I try to do a vegetable, fruit, and then they obviously get their sandwich and chips, right? I mean, there's only so much you can put in there, but I remember for one, it had to be ham and cheese, right? And nothing else, ham and cheese and bread. And then all of a sudden, no, I don't like that. I want, turkey sandwich, and then that'll wear out, and then it's on to something else. So.
But my little man's been on quesadillas for like 3 months. Every morning I make a quesadilla.
Our daughter, she loved hard-boiled eggs for the longest time.
Yeah. And
man, that lunch bag would smell so bad when they came home. Because half of it would be eaten, right? Because I don't know about you, but our school, they give them like 20 minutes, right?
Yeah, that's like ours.
It's like their social
they eat at
hour.
10:30.
Yeah. And so they never eat it all.
They eat at 10:30 and she comes home. She just walked in the door and she's like, I'm starving. And I'm like, I just figured it out. She's been going to school since January. And I'm like, she's like half a day there and she doesn't eat.
Yeah.
And then they don't eat it in the morning, right? They eat maybe a half a bagel walking out or a bowl of cereal. So yeah, they're starving when they get home.
Yeah.
Especially as they get older. Like Liam's 14 now, man. All he does is eat. It's just crazy.
That's my youngest. That's all Jack does is eat.
That's all you do.
No, I don't. Pick on me. So how much when you were playing, stop laughing. That's not very nice. We just met. That's pretty funny. I know. So when you were playing in the NFL for as many years as you did, 14 seasons, how much golf would you play during the season?
Not as much. Like I would try to sneak out on Tuesdays or Monday or, even just go hit some balls. And
could you even walk on a Monday?
So I started, no, not well. So I started in college where it was as bad as it was. Like even when I was really sore, I'd still just go to the range and hit, 30, 40 balls just to kind of get moving. Like it wasn't necessarily to play golf. It was just to kind of move around and opposed to going to the gym and working out. So I kind of did that a little while early on in my career. I just go hit balls like on a Monday afternoon, not a ton, and tried to do it for a while. And unfortunately in Cleveland at times it wasn't able to do it, but I went to some indoor deals and hit some balls in there. And I'd probably play, I would say 3-4 times, maybe. The bye week I'd probably play 3 times during the bye week, so maybe 6 times during the whole season.
That's it?
Yeah.
Did you ever get in trouble? Like, did you ever find out that you were playing? Because I know how some coaches can be like, no.
I had an incident or two where they're like, really? You went to the golf course? I'm like, yeah, I did. Like I got in trouble here in Arizona. I was hurt. I had a concussion. I wasn't going to play the rest of the year, but I was like kind of fine, but they wouldn't pass me through the protocol. And I'm like, this is dumb. They're not letting me do anything. So I'm like, screw it. I'm going to go hit golf balls. I run into the guy, the ticket sales guy at the golf course. And he tells coach that I was up there hitting golf balls. And I had hit some balls, but I took Swanee, my buddy, I took him up there. He was in town so he could play. And he played with 3 of my buds. I literally rode around the cart and I chipped and putted the whole day. And then I got in trouble. And they're like, you can't be at the golf course when you're hurt. I was like, then clear me to play.
All right. Yeah. It sounds ridiculous. So how many head coaches did you have in your 14 years?
Holy smokes.
13?
Man. So we had Romeo, Mangini, what's his name? Billick, so that's 3. And then Arizona had Wiz, that's 4. Then Ron, that's 5. I only had 6.
Oh, that's not too
Only
bad. Well,
had
you
6.
You only had one in Arizona, or one in. Well, you only had one in every place except for Cleveland.
Except for Cleveland, yeah, we had 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many offensive linemen did you have in Cleveland? That's a bad joke. I'm sorry.
That's a good one. We had a
You
good
should have
crew.
played.
I could have.
He would have been an all-time Clevelander if you would have played for him.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All-time
You and
Clevelander.
Joe Thomas?
Joe Thomas.
You play with Joe, right?
He's the man.
Best ever.
Yeah.
Incredible.
He's the man.
He's incredible. So we had that year, in 07, we had a good line. We had a lot of guys, but on some other teams, I didn't have such good luck with those guys.
I know you, especially in Arizona, right? They were.
Yeah, that was the worst of it. It was unfortunate, but again, that was how you get hit in the head enough times. It all adds up. That one hurt me the most, probably.
So would you say, how important is having a good offensive line when you're a quarterback?
Honestly, like you're only as good as they are. You can manage and get away with, manipulating game plans and putting those guys in good situations. But ultimately, like if you have a good crew of guys, it saves you. Obviously, you're not getting pushed back in your lap. Your run game's better. Obviously that in 07, I think I got sacked 12 or 13 times in 15 starts. Like
that's comforting.
Yeah, that's super good. We ran the ball well. So like when you get on other teams, like you just don't have a chance. Like if you have next thing you know, your right guard's like 2 feet off your lap. Like I can't do it. I'm not very mobile. So like you got a guy standing in front of me, like I can't go very far. Like, it's kind of important that they kind of hold the line a little bit. But really ultimately, like I know it's kind of cliche, but like that is the major piece to the whole engine. Like if you don't have guys that can kind of sort things out, communicate, you don't have a chance really.
Yeah. So what's more important? Obviously receivers or is running back? Keep running. Obviously it depends on the type of offense.
The kicker.
Kickers I don't like kickers.
Wow. We have another kicker from my hometown, Mike Vanderjagt.
Once was a great kicker.
Yeah, and he kind of got a little mouthy. And then we also have Tony Mandrich. You probably remember that name.
Yeah.
He owns a golf course now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Great information.
Let's ask Ben's question. So what's more important, a running back, a fullback? Let's put a running back and fullback together.
Well,
or a wide receiver. That's your question.
Well, that's for him
Okay,
because
yeah, okay, sorry.
my
Ultimately-
opinion, all the teams that run it successfully win. But you hear on the announcers, it's like it's all about the passing game. I'm like,
But look at who the announcers are. They're all quarterbacks.
well, true.
But if you don't have an effective run game I'm not saying you need a Chubb or a McCaffrey or like, you got to have a guy though that can get you 1,000 yards, like, or 950 or whatever, you got to have a guy like that. Otherwise, then you just get teed off on, right? Like you have no chance to throw the football because they're like, oh, cool, we'll just run to the quarterback. And if he hands it off, we'll just tackle the guy on the way there. Like, you know what I mean?
Quarterback keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, ultimately, I've tried to play football without receivers. That's really hard. Without established guys.
Stack the line.
Yeah.
Stack the line.
But like if you have a good run game, just to correlate it to kind of the Cleveland thing, like Jamal Lewis was a huge piece of our season in 07 when we were really good.
Right.
And he was older. Like, it wasn't like he was, incredible, but that year he was nuts because we could kind of do whatever we wanted. We could run the ball, we could throw the ball, like you can run play action. But and now I think those guys like him they're gonna be few and far in between just because the way the game's changing with all the RPO stuff, all the the way the college is playing the game. I think eventually in the next probably 3-4 years, the NFL game will just kind of keep going in that direction as well, which I mean it already has, but more and more you get guys that have done that their whole life. Now you're going to get a kid that's done the RPO stuff since he was 7 years old, right? So kind of interesting.
And I think you need 2 running backs, right? I think that's good balance, right? Like with Cleveland last year, it's not just one, but you have 2 threats, and they're a little bit different. But I think it's just to keep them fresh too, right? Because like Jamal Lewis, I think had 9,000 carries or something that year as well. Let alone there was nobody else.
No wonder he never got sacked. Kept handing the ball off.
Right.
I mean, it is a huge piece, and it will always. I think that's what's going to keep the kind of the league growing. Is you're going to get these really super athletic guys. You're not going to have the big hammer bruiser guys. I don't think. Like Henry, Derrick Henry's obviously a freaking nature. He's the size of me, and he's shredded. Like, they don't make guys like that's one of a kind. You got touched all the way around. Here you go, bud. Don't screw it up.
How are NFL football players as golfers overall?
Not great as a whole. A lot of kickers are pretty good.
They don't do anything.
Kickers, they should be good, but it's kind of the same movement though, a little bit for them. Kickers are good. Quarterbacks are generally okay. I tried when I was in Carolina. I tried to start getting more guys out. Like I got some connections with some clubs around, and they'd let us bring a couple groups out, and I'd take linebacker. Keekly would come out, and
you ever take Cam Newton?
And some linemen, and they did good. Like I helped them a ton. Like they would when we first started playing, these dudes were just grabbing driver on every single hole and just slapping it everywhere. And like, how come you beat us by 20 every day? I'm like, well, the guy's 300 yards to the end of the fairway. It goes down a ravine. I'm not going to hit my driver in the ravine just because I want to hit driver. Like stupid stuff like that. But I don't know. I think there's a lot more guys interested in it, but also like the linemen struggle because they're hurting, a long time in there. It takes them a while to, recover during the off season. So those guys don't probably play as much as like the skill position guys.
So besides you, who was the best golfer, football player?
Andy Lee. When I played with him in Charlotte, he's a really good player. I played with like Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's pretty good. Dan Orlovsky was good. He's actually really good. That I shouldn't say he's really good. Matt Stafford's swing is awesome. He just doesn't play very much. Like I took him to Whisper Rock a couple of years ago, and he drove it on a freaking string. I'm like, he goes, "Oh, I don't play that much." I'm like, dude, if I drove it like that, I'd play
who's
two
the guy
more
that wins?
Larry
Who's the guy that
Fitzgerald.
wins the Reno or your event? The
celebrity thing? I played with Mark yesterday.
Who?
Mark Mulder.
Oh, Mark Mulder.
Mark Muller.
Yeah. So my buddy and I played Mark and Kyle Loesch, who's also another good player. He's a pitcher, played a bunch. We play quite a bit because our kids are on the same schedules. But Mark and I go back and forth. We have good matches. Like I got him yesterday, and he got me last time, and it just kind of goes back and forth.
Nice.
Is there decent golf in Scottsdale?
There's a few. There's a few good courses.
Yeah, just one or two.
Whisper Rock's not very good. It's
Yeah.
like just
It's
outside the
dangerous.
top 10. It's
Yeah.
just outside the top 10. Yeah.
My
But it's
buddy today, we're driving to the course and he'd never been up there. And we drive past Greyhawk and he was like, whoa. He's like, Greyhawk's right here too. And he's like, and I live by Silverleaf, and he's like, oh wow. And he's like, all these golf courses within like a 10-minute radius of my house. He's like, maybe I should think about getting out of Oregon.
True statement. Well, you got Bandon Dunes out there, and you've got
Which you're going next?
yeah, I'm going in less than 2 weeks. What's today? Tuesday? 2 weeks today, I'll be in Bandon.
Were you going with a bunch of guys?
Hopefully.
Nice.
I'm trying to get him to go, but he won't sleep in the same bed with me.
Not sharing a room with him.
He's not going to share a room with me.
No.
It's big king bed. Swanee and I've done it a bunch. It's not that bad.
No, I'm
Exactly.
not going. Hey,
Exactly.
I got lunches. I got lunches to make for my kids' school. So
I'll ask Candace if you can go. She'll be like, sure, take him with you.
Yeah, she'll freaking drive me.
Get him out.
That's might be one of my favorite places to go with a group of guys, though.
Yeah,
Like,
Bandon.
You've never been?
No, actually, we had about a month ago. We had Tom Doak, and he built 2 of the courses. So we're excited.
Sweet.
Yeah.
It's a blast. My house there was like 3 hours from it. And we like in the summer we'd get up, and if we knew it wasn't going to blow 30, we'd just drive down, play 36, and go home.
Yeah, I think we're a little bit worried about the wind.
It'll pump. It will pump.
It will pump.
Is it certain times
It will
of the
pump.
year
The
that
wind will pump.
worse and
The wind will pump. I've never heard that
it
before.
won't blow you over? So you're
Yeah.
It'll like, what is it? What month is it? May?
It'll be May. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna get into where now it starts to blow pretty hard in the afternoon. Like you might get some cool days where it doesn't blow at all, and you're like, yes, and you wake up the next morning, it's blowing 30.
Yeah, we're playing Pack Dunes in the afternoon.
Well, what's your favorite course there?
Pacific Dunes.
Right there, right behind you. We actually have Tom right there. We got Tom Doak signed the flight too.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's the man.
That's legit one of my favorite courses. Anybody can go out there, no matter of your handicap skill level. We had a long snapper from the Lions, Don Muehlbach. We took him out there one day. He is terrible, like, but he is the most fun. He takes a caddy to carry his beers, like.
I love it.
Who carries his bag?
Well, he starts off with the beers in his hand. Eventually, the caddy's carrying the beers. He sometimes carries the bag, but he's like a 20 handicap probably. We go around Pacific Dunes one day, no wind. He hits this massive slice. He shoots like 76 or 78, and he's like best course on the planet. But that's what's fun about those courses is you go down there, and for the most part, anybody can go have fun. I mean, you might get in some really bad spots, but it's an unbelievable place.
Nice.
Yeah. I think I got to do a spiel. Ready? Okay. We actually have a sponsor. Okay.
Love that.
Isn't that amazing? They haven't given us any money, but you always got to bring that bottle.
Well, because my head's in the way and it hurts. I can't turn.
The miracle of wine capturing a special time and place finds its essence in the Mira Cabernet Sauvignon Schweitzer vineyard. Even before Jim Bear Dyke and Gustavo E. Gonzalez founded Mira, they dreamt of making a definitive Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon from this premier Grand Cru vineyard. First planted in 1885 in the heart of the Stags Leap district.
You're like 10, right?
The Schweitzer, I'm trying to focus here. You're wasting his time. The Schweitzer family devotes incredible care in their stewardship of the land and the field it yields, making them ideal partners in Mira's quest for pure expressions of vineyard and varietal. The Mira Cabernet Sauvignon Schweitzer vineyard. Pour yourself a miracle.
Nice. Have you you drink wine? Have you had their stuff yet?
I have not had that. I have not.
It's good. Yeah, you got to go.
You got to get yourself one. I know you go. I know you like Oregon wine, but yeah.
I do. I'm a bit of a. I had a nice bottle of Domaine Serene last night, actually.
Nice.
Maybe 2. Can't really remember what I lost count at, but.
So what?
We had a good night. Played some cards.
What's your favorite varietal? Is it Pinot or?
Yeah, I prefer the Pinots. I just because all those vineyards are right by my house.
Yeah,
we've joined a few of them, and just to go up there and kind of go through and see all. I'm probably like 6-7 years ago. I kind of really started like kind of getting into it. I watched all the Psalm, like that whole thing, and
yeah. Didn't you want to strangle some of them?
Oh man, I'm like, you get that out of that? Like, the fact that they can
It's
smell
crazy.
it and tell you like exactly where it came from, it's just mind-boggling to me. And so I started kind of getting into it a little there, but every once in a while, like on a new one, I'll like take my time. Most of the time I just open it and I'm going to enjoy it. I know what I'm getting.
Yeah.
One of those, we all probably have our favorites for the most part. You kind of leave laying around the house a bottle or two.
Right.
So what's your favorite brand then?
Domaine Serene is the one that we've kind of just been with lately. We got on a kick where we were just kind of bouncing around. We ended up joining their deal and they ship it down here, which is
joining their deal.
Yeah.
I like that. Joining their deal.
Let's not kid ourselves. It's not really a deal, but
so while you two go play, Band and Dunes, I'll be at the winery down the road. So
they're not going to let you in.
Why wouldn't they let me in?
I've got some pull around these places. You know that, right? All right, we'll see.
Whatever.
I'm trying to get him to go to it's not going to be called the Safeway Open. I said, let's go do some interviews while we're out there, and I'll show you my world. And he's like, he won't want to come back.
I've been out there 5 times.
No, but you haven't been out with LT.
You get me in trouble.
No, we have fun.
Yeah.
And you got to pay. You don't have to pay for anything either.
Well, that's good.
Which
you can join us too.
Yeah.
Incredible. I heard we're supposed to take the girls down there a couple times. Unfortunately, one of them was right in the middle of the whole COVID deal and couldn't go. And they've been wanting to go forever. And I imagine it's a lot like Oregon on a bigger scale.
No, it's not. It is
it's probably more like Sonoma.
No, it's the adult Disneyland.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Oregon. You know what Oregon is? Oregon's wonderful. It's a little bit more rustic, where Napa's a little bit more, it's like Vegas. Like it's just commercialized a little bit. But you want to get some good places, I'll tell you. But it's fantastic. I was out there in February, took my golf clubs, played Mayakama. And that is, have you ever played Mayakama?
I've heard awesome things about it. No, I haven't.
Awesome. And you actually have a standing invite through the person that took me.
Yeah, Tor.
Who owns a winery, yeah. And you
I played 2 holes with that guy.
What's that?
It'd be a real bummer to have to go out there and drink wine and play golf in between.
You know what you know what I call? You know what my wife says? Are you going to work? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to work. I got a golf podcast and I work in the wine industry. It's called work. Last time I took Melissa out there, 9 months later we had a child. So she hasn't been out with me for about 6 years. Yeah, you better be careful, big boy.
I quit
from 3 to 4.
I'm quit. I can't go to 4. My wife got a dog.
That's what you think.
No.
Immaculate conception. So so if you were inducted in the Hall of Fame, okay, this is a tough question here. If you were inducted in the NFL Hall of Fame, what team would you go in with?
The Panthers.
Oh, fuck. Seriously? We're sitting here in Northeast Ohio. He says the Panthers.
Not because
8 years.
I agree that my best personal football was
Pro Bowl
in Cleveland,
yep.
which was great.
Yep.
Had a great 5 years, but just the whole team aspect, the guys, my friendships, the guys that I really stayed super close with, that was kind of my crew. I mean, I was 7 years there. We went to the Super Bowl. Had I been the quarterback, I guess that's probably a better evaluation just based on the teams and my role. That's probably the way it went.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Should we tell them about the time I came down to visit you and you were at the high-rise apartment there? I don't know if you were there that long. I don't know if it was during the Wells Fargo or if it was a different time. And we go to dinner, just you and I, right? We go to dinner. I think you were just new to Carolina.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, let's just, I don't know how we ended up at this bar. We thought it was a bar. We walked in, we're just shitting it, shitting the breeze,
shooting the breeze.
Yeah, we're doing it all. And this is why we didn't see what we walk into the Hookah Bar, right? We're in there 15 minutes.
Yeah, hell yeah, you were shitting the breeze.
We're like, this is a really modern, weird looking place. Red leather chairs everywhere.
Remember exactly. It's so crazy. I'm like, oh, let's try this place. I heard it's good. We go in there. I'm like, no, this isn't the ticket, bud.
Yeah.
We'll get the check, please.
Yeah. I don't even think we ordered anything. We just walked out.
No, definitely not. Oh, it's too funny. That was right. That was legit right when I got down there. When I moved down there, because the year before that was when you guys were, I was in Crocker, or not Crocker Park, the other area, we stayed by your guys' hotel and had Liam at the house. I was my phone the other day and I saw the picture of Liam hitting putter at my house, and we were talking. I'm like, oh my goodness, the kid is 14 years old.
Yeah.
Where did time go?
It goes so fast. I mean, it's nuts.
Yeah. How good is Cam Newton as a golfer?
He's atrocious.
Yeah.
Like, he showed me a video of his swing when he was down at IMG training. And for being such a great athlete at multiple things, his golf swing, it's so bad. I'm like, he's like holding it like my son did when he was 2, like trying to hit it like a shovel. I was like, but your hand-eye is way better than that. I'm like, just come out. I was trying to get him to play because, like, if he could like swing it, dude, he would crush. He's so big and like flexible. Wouldn't do it. He's a video game guy.
He's just a freak athlete that sits around and plays video games all day.
Yeah,
right?
no big deal.
Yeah.
So another one of those one-offs.
Yeah.
Those one-of-ones like Trout or Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Would you want to say Josh Allen?
Yeah, Josh Allen. Is he the next star?
He is a star.
Well, he's a star, but
Bills, baby.
Do you think I
think he's got
sustain it.
Legit chance to be really, really good. Great kid, works his butt off, asks a lot of questions, and he kind of figured out how to manage his role in the locker room, getting the respect of the older guys. I mean, the guy plays his balls off. He puts his, I had so many conversations. I'm like, dude, you can't run into these dudes full speed and expect to play a long time in this league. Like, there's a certain point when you're like, okay, I'm not going to get 3 extra yards running through this guy and get the first down. Just slide or run out of bounds, punt, save your body. But he wants to run. He wants to make guys miss. He wants to jump and dive. But he's going to be. I think he's going to be a fantastic player. I mean, he is a fantastic player, but he's going to keep going, and it's going to be fun to watch.
So he didn't play like Jim Kelly, where he'd try to run through people.
No, but he would if you let him.
Yeah, Jim Kelly was I think a converted linebacker to quarterback.
Was he?
Yeah, Jim Kelly's the man.
Well, Josh Allen, he's a big dude, right? I mean, is he?
Yeah,
I know you're 6'6". Is he taller than you?
He's 6'5", like 240 and some change, probably. But pretty.
But
solid.
He can move.
He can run a little better than me. That's a little different.
Right.
But no, he's going to be good, man. They keep surrounding him with athletes and running backs, and I mean Diggs, I think, was the best offseason pickup by any team in the league last year. They keep doing that for him, and he's gonna keep producing. And they got a real chance next year to put one together again.
Yeah. Why don't more quarterbacks, instead of getting sacked, just take a knee?
I've taken a knee in the pocket before.
No, think about that. 2nd down and 10. Screw it. I'm not getting knocked out. I'm just going to take a damn knee. I
mean, I literally one time fell down. There was a guy that nobody blocked him. He was running straight at me. I just sat down. I legit just, because where was I? I wasn't going this way. I oh, that ain't it. And he's just running at me. I just fell down where I was standing. They're like, that was so awful. During the course.
Well, that's being smart, DA, because
you're right. It probably was.
Cleveland fans would be that dumbass lady pussy. You didn't take the hit, but it's like, well, you were there to play the next
exactly.
Down.
One of the funny ones all time. Cam and I were watching tape one day, and we're watching the Giants, and Eli legitimately slid in the pocket. He started to run forward and realized everything was collapsing, and he slid. And we cried. We laughed so hard because it just looks like he's like, oh, I'm gonna go get 10 yards, and then all of a sudden he's like, nope.
Yep.
That's so funny.
Oh my God. Well, I think that's so. We want you to stick around. We're gonna go to our little Patreon section. We're gonna ask you the back 9 section. DA, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. Just remember to subscribe, rate, review. And we'll see you next week. And Derek, thanks again.